Hi guys, welcome to Switched On, Paul here, and just wanted to make a quick update video for Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Wow, what a hornet's nest that one has dug up. Now, if you saw my video yesterday, I made a little playthrough video as the game launched yesterday. There was an embargo till about 2:30, so dropped my playthrough video and some early thoughts around that time. And the video's done really well, and there's been no end of commenting on that video. So I haven't replied to them all yet. I always try to reply to every comment, so I've got a few more from overnight that I need to look at today. But I will get to every comment and reply to it. But yeah, it's wow. I guess overwhelmingly negative has been the general feeling. Certainly on those comments and comments I've seen around the net from different people on Twitter and Reddit. Very unhappy with the performance of this game. It's got sort of mixed reviews. I've seen some really good reviews, and I've seen some people calling it out on the performance issues. It's a difficult one. What I've decided to do for now, as I'll explain in a minute, is I'm going to hold off on my full review until some updates are done to the game, and I'll get to that in a minute. Some of the videos I have seen around YouTube particularly are sort of comparing the Switch version to, I mean, PlayStation Pro, PS4 Pro. Is that really a fair comparison? I can see what people are saying, you know, but when you put the two side by side, I don't think it's fair to compare any game, you know, from the Switch to either a high-spec PC or the PlayStation 4 Pro. I mean, even comparing it to the base PlayStation 4 is probably not that fair, but certainly the Pro version, of course, it's going to run much better. If you compared a lot of PlayStation 4 games to PS4 Pro games, you know, the PS4 Pro is going to outperform them. So, in my mind, not a fair comparison. So, those sort of videos I tend to discount a little bit because, you know, it's just pointless. We know the Switch isn't as powerful as those. We know the PS4 is going to outperform them. What's the point of, you know, just dredging the Switch through the mud a little bit just for the sake of it? But on the other hand, I do see why people are comparing it. There's been a lot of downgrades made on the Switch version, certainly in terms of textures. Frame rate, obviously we knew was going in wasn't going to be 60 like the other platforms, but it just, I don't know, it doesn't feel 30. It just feels odd. The way I described it to one of my friends is that maybe that it's almost like the game's running at 30 frames per second, but the character animations are like 20 frames per second. It's got this really weird laggy feeling. Some people have described it as input lag. Some people have had it worse than others. So obviously it depends on, you know, possibly whether you're using the physical or digital version of the game, where it's installed, the sort of audio-visual setup you're using at home. So there's lots of different factors that go into how bad the input lag, is going to affect you. But I don't know. It's not. I wouldn't say it's bad enough that it causes me problems with the game. Certainly not in the first few hours. Anyway, I'm about 3 hours in. Haven't had issues where I thought, I've died there because of input lag. It just feels really odd to control. It is the best way I can describe it. I can't really put my finger on exactly what's wrong, but certainly people that have had side-by-side comparisons who've got both versions, like the PC and the the Switch version, are comparing it side by side, and apparently it's night and day. But what I tend to do with these Switch games, and ports in particular, is I really want to take them in isolation. So I want to look at, you know, is Bloodstained Ritual of the Night a good game on the Nintendo Switch, ignoring how it compares with other consoles. I don't particularly care about how it performs on the PlayStation. I've not got a PlayStation, I've not got a PC. I'm sort of all in and dedicated to the Switch. So I want to know, if I'm buying Bloodstained Ritual of the Night on the Switch, is it a good game? Is it worth my money? I would say at the moment, it probably is. It feels a little bit higher priced. I was really surprised when I saw the price of sort of £35, and I think it's $40 in America. To me, that's kind of getting on for AAA pricing, and for an indie game, it just feels, I don't know, it just feels a little bit high, to be honest. I would probably, you know, like to see it even around about the £25 to £30 mark. 35 just seems like it's pushing it a little bit, but we'll see. They've promised a load of free DLC to come, a lot of updates, so we'll see where this one ends up. But one of the main reasons for this video is waking up this morning, I received an email overnight from the PR company, and they've forwarded an email from 505 Games, the publishers of Bloodstained, on the Switch. I'm just going to read it to you here. It says, "Hey everyone, we've been listening to the feedback regarding the Switch performance. Our goal is for everyone, regardless of platform, to be able to enjoy the game and have it run smoothly. We want to live up to your and our expectations. Throughout the QA process, we've been addressing performance issues in the game, and Update 1.1 was published to the Switch prior to launch to add content and improve performance. It did not accomplish as much as we had hoped, and we need to do more. To address the concerns brought up by the community, we are immediately shifting resources to improve performance and stability for the Switch. You can expect a number of small updates that will improve different areas of the game rather than waiting longer for one big update. We will have more details as we dive into the work. We thank you for your patience and apologise for the inconvenience. So that's quite interesting. So almost immediately they've responded, and as I mentioned in my video yesterday, these guys, this isn't sort of unprecedented for them, because when they originally released the sort of screen grabs and early gameplay footage, the game received a lot of backlash, particularly from Kickstarter backers and people that were looking forward to this game. And the team actually went back to the drawing board and redid a lot of the artwork and sort of came back out with a comparison video saying, hey, this is what we launched with, we know we got it wrong. This is, you know, we've delayed the game, we've gone back to the drawing board, we've put work into the art assets, and this is what it looks like now. And credits them, you know, they were quite open about that, and it was quite a big difference, and definitely worth the time it took to do that. So these guys aren't against receiving criticism and going back in and doing the hard work to make it better. So from that point of view, in my eyes, they've got they've got history, and they're going to get a little bit of a leeway from me to be able to rectify the problems that they've launched with. Now, this is something that I like to do on Switched On. It's something that I've done before in the past. I looked at Xenon Racer, kind of called it out a bit at the start as they were marketing on the eShop the PlayStation or high-end PC trailer for the game, and obviously launched nothing like the eShop video, and was just generally a terrible launch. It was overpriced and just performed terribly, and rightly got reviewed, you know, pretty awfully by a lot of outlets. But I held off on my review. Sort of, I kept an eye on the patch updates, kept people on the channel informed, and when they released their final performance update, which improved the game massively, I only then put my review out and gave it a fairly decent review, which it deserved. Not to give developers a free pass to release shoddy games, because you know, that's no good at all. But at the same time, you have to give people a chance to put it right, and I want to be fair in my reviews. So I did the same with Tennis World Tour. That had a bit of a shaky launch, and has been patched to death, and is now a really playable tennis game. So again, you've got to be fair. You know, people will see the negative reviews probably of this game. You know, there's going to be plenty of negative reviews out, and then maybe overlook it and, you know, just move on and never come back to it, and maybe miss out on a great game. So what I'm going to do is delay that review, wait for some patches, and review it when I feel like it's in a fair state to be reviewed. Now again, that's not saying I'm giving it a free pass. Would I recommend it today? If you've got other consoles, if you've got a PlayStation or PC or an Xbox, I would probably recommend getting it on one of those. You're going to get 60 frames per second, you're going to get higher resolution textures, you're just going to get generally a better performance and, you know, better value for money. If you've only got the Switch, would I pick up Bloodstained? I think it's a fun game. There are performance issues. There are some little gameplay niggles that I'm not too keen on. You know, some old school stuff like having to go into your inventory to apply a potion is a bit annoying. Be nice to have a hotkey for that, you know, mapped to the D-pad. I can see they're probably trying to go for that old school Castlevania feel, or, you know, certainly an old school game feel in that regard. But little things like that can be annoying. So I don't know whether they're going to be aiming to do those quality of life features. Like, you know, I would love to have that potion mapped to a hotkey if possible. And, you know, there's the issue with save rooms. People are a bit annoyed about that. And, you know, if you save in a save room and then, you know, don't find another save room for another sort of 10-15 minutes and die, your progress is reset right away back to that save room. So I don't know what the answer is there. That's probably that's maybe too big of a step change. Obviously, again, that's old school gameplay, which does feel like in a lot of areas they've really tried to be faithful to not just Castlevania, but that sort of era of old school platformers. A lot of old school sort of gameplay and mechanics and features in the game. So I don't know if we're going to get any of those quality of life features alongside the performance updates that have been promised. But I hope that's okay. Let me know below what you think. You know, am I right in delaying my review of this game, or should I sort of come out now and lay it on the line and tell you how it is today? As I said earlier, if you've only got the Switch console and you really want to get this game, it's certainly playable. It's not broken. It's not a terrible game at all. And with those promises to improve it and the history that they've got of going back and improving games, I would say you're probably pretty safe putting your money into this one. And there is fun to be had. And if you look around, there are really positive reviews. Switch Watch, for example, just put out a really positive review today. So check that out and see what you think. But I don't know. I just thought I'd want to bring you an update just with that news that they're going to be looking at the game and updating it. So hope that's okay. Hope you enjoyed this video. And again, leave me a comment below. Let me know what you would rather me do. I just hope you guys can appreciate that I want to give this the fairest review possible for you. I don't just want to write it off now and say, oh, performance is terrible and there's this problem and that problem. I don't think that's fair. I like to give the games the best chance they can to be reviewed well. I don't like giving bad reviews out. Thanks for watching, and got more content going up every day really this week, so stay tuned for that. And thanks for watching again. I will see you soon. Cheers guys. Bye.